Welcome, everybody. We are live in Viada's Tiny House Village, and we are live in Facebook. Now, once again, Blog Talk Radio has decided to go to sleep and not work today. So I'm going to welcome the Tiny House Village because we're live and we got a great show. Oh my goodness. Master J. Rue is back. So get your pens and pencils out. But more than anything, get ready to meditate and change your life. But let me welcome my tiny house community first. So come on in, the door is open. That little house you just saw, I actually renovated it and painted the outside, did the inside. That was my first big tiny house renovation, and it was smaller than I'd ever been in before. So welcome everybody to Viada's Tiny House Village and Facebook Live. So grateful that we have platforms that are global. Come on in. Good evening, good morning, buenos dias, bonjour, wherever you are, we welcome you, we welcome you. And as usual, if you're new to Viada's Soul Purpose Healing, we're going to do some great soul searching tonight with Master J. Ra. But first, we want to welcome our ancestors. We want to bring in the answers because these days, things are heating up and things are getting louder and bigger. And we've got people coming in on the on-air network. Thank you all for joining us tonight on the on-air. See, we just shift right away from Blog Talk to on-air because Blog Talk we'll be saying goodbye to Blog Talk Radio very soon. Maybe by the end of the year. We're going to maybe start off fresh in 2025 with a whole new platform, new shows, all of that good stuff. But first, let's welcome Becca Shea, who's a Christian artist who has a Native American flair to this song. And we want to get you to get your drums out, jump on your table, whatever you have to do. But let's drum in the music of heartbeat of our Creator and welcome Yeshua, the Spirit of love and truth. Here we go. Here we go.
And his blood has ransomed people for God. From every tribe and language, people, every nation. Where warriors have fallen, there's a resurrection coming. It's your time to rise and shine. Wake up, you sleeping giant. The wounds of injustice are being healed by the peace of Yahweh. It's bringing us power through unity. Where warriors have fallen, there's a resurrection coming. Troubles come alive. Yeah, wake up, you sleeping giant. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Yeshua, bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yeshua, bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yeshua, bring us together. Bring us together. We cry out your heartbeat, oh, your heartbeat. This is the hour to know whose side to stand by. Raise up a standard in battle for every fellow tribe. Our warriors are fighting, there's a revival igniting. Search for such a time. Yeah, arise, you blazing fire. Brave and stand firm and listen to your destiny. The rhythm of our Father moves with victory. Where warriors are fighting, there's a revival igniting. So my soul God and arise, blazing fire. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel it, yeah, I feel it. Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. We cry, Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. Together we cry, Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. We cry out your heartbeat, oh, your heartbeat. Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. We cry, Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. Together we cry, Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. We cry out your heartbeat, oh, your heartbeat. Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. We cry, Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. Together we cry, Yeshua, bring us together, bring us together. We cry out your heartbeat, oh, your heartbeat.
Unity, peace, joy, wisdom. Peace, joy, wisdom. Unity, unity, unity. Truth, truth, truth. Love, love, love. Spirit of love, truth, and wisdom. Come on in, come on in. Woo! All right, all right. We are here tonight on this 8th day of December. It has been, number 8 again. This is a number 10. If you sum up all the numbers, we've got a number 10 working on with us tonight. A 1, 10, 1, 0, 1, unity. It's all about unity tonight. So we're going to bring in unity with Master J. Ra in a few minutes because he has an event coming up, but he wants to show us how to awake, be aware, and vibrantly alive tonight. That's his theme and his energy that he'll be moving in, becoming awake, aware, and vibrantly alive. How many of you need that? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. How many of you need to be awakened, become aware? That's consciousness, and become vibrantly alive. Me, moi. So let's breathe in the number 10. Breathe in the number one, because we are all one. We are all human beings made in the image of our creator Yahuwah. I call Yahuwah. The collective energy of the universe comes in with us tonight, bringing us truth and love, which is the spirit of Yeshua, also known as Jesus. But I don't believe there's a man out there coming in the clouds. No, the clouds are up here in our head. These are the clouds, the brain. Have you ever looked at how what a brain looks like? Those are the clouds that the spirit of truth and wisdom is coming in, flooding our brains, flooding our minds, flooding our hearts so that we can be free of dis-ease and have total ease in our mind. I read something this morning in my meditation on the mat book by Rolf Gates. Oh my goodness, I had to read it twice. And I'm going to ask Master J. Rue to elaborate on this beautiful reading that I had this morning. And it was all about what the Buddha realized about Zen, which is the Japanese word for meditation, Kan, which is the Chinese word for meditation, and Yana, which is the Sanskrit word for meditation. So, what did the Buddha and Christ? They were both yogis. Surprise, awakening yogis. Yeshua, Messiah, Christ, Jesus, yogi. And then there was Sadhara, no, I forget his name, Buddha, whose name was Sadhara, I believe. They were enlightened beings. So if you are enlightened, you're a Buddha. If you're enlightened, you're a Christ. All of that comes together because we are one. We are made in the image of the cosmic universe. And so the reading meditation I had was asking the question or stating Buddha, the meditator, Christ, the meditator, the yogi, realized that meditation is where I am fine to be where I am. That means in the present moment. I'm good at being right here in this present moment, not we're in the past or the future. And I am doing what I'm doing with a clear mind. And that's where the Messiah comes in, the Christ mind comes in, is that I am at ease, that I have a heart that is at ease. Do you have a heart that is at ease? Or are you in anxiety, stress, turmoil, confusion, high blood pressure? Are you in any of those things? Well, tonight we're going to transform that tonight. This is what the tonight show is all about, is to transform all that negative energy, all that low frequency energy. Because our guest also wrote a book about 108 ways to raise your frequency, raise your vibration. Okay. So we want to be fully present. We want to be fully present tonight to bring in a higher vibration, to raise our frequency, come out of dis-ease and come into a heart that is at ease. So I see my guest is here. I want to welcome Master J. Rue. How are you, Master J. Rue, tonight?
Welcome, welcome. Peace, love, and light.
Yes, it is. It is all that. And so it is. Yes.
And so it is.
That is exactly why we're here, to bring peace, love, and light. So thank you for joining me again. The weather's cooler, but that's okay. In Florida, that's a good thing. Less bugs. And I get to bring out the sweaters and all that good stuff. So I'm so grateful that you've returned, because the last show was just not enough. We had so much and I have so much to cover with you tonight. But Master, let's start off a little bit again, telling our audience about your travels. That was the one thing that I was just so amazed at, how much you've traveled. And let's start with your hometown, where you came into the planet, and move forward at your own speed. How about that?
Okay. Well, we can condense it. I actually have a book coming out next year
called Autobiography of a Black Yogi. Okay.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good.
And
So
as you
you're like
know,
Christ.
right. And as you know, most people have heard of a yogi, but they don't really know what a yogi is, and let alone a black yogi. Okay.
But would you say Christ was the first black yogi, or were there some before him?
There were definitely some before him, but in the modern 6,000 years that certain parts of society say exist, but we've been on this planet for millions of years, millions. So yeah, he definitely was a yogi. And there have been a number of other great beings in the overall people of color, black people. Some of you might remember the name Thoth, or Tahuti. The Greeks call him Hermes. And then it goes even back further and further and further. There's a great ascended master that's called Afro. Literally, that's his name.
Wow, I got to read that book.
Yeah. And there's all these other parts of civilization that in his story they don't tell you about it. Like Atlantis, Lemuria, Pangea. It starts to go back. Okay, but human beings have been on this planet for quite some time, and we've had a lot of knowledge, been in the middle of it, and then have also lost a lot of knowledge. Unfortunately, this time, well, it's from a spiritual point of view, it actually gives you greater contrast that you can go more towards the universe, the source, and light. But during this time now on planet Earth, there is a lack of awareness about the true nature of who you really are.
Absolutely.
In terms of traveling, it would take a long time, but just to give you some of the few places that I've been that have made major impact. Actually, the first time I actually left the States, I went to Ethiopia.
Oh.
Yeah. And that was a blessing. That's where I learned the sacred science of sound, learned about mantras and frequencies, and also learned about the whole Coptic religion. They're actually temples and churches that are made out of rock, that are in the mountains and in the dirt.
Wow.
And they certain cultures have said that the great master Yeshua, which some people call Jesus the Christ, that he was born in a manger in Bethlehem, but there's also a lot of documented information that the brother was born in a cave in Ethiopia.
I wouldn't doubt it at all. That little baby in the manger story is old, and we know there's some doubt to that. But during this season, I'm like Scrooge. It's like all these little pictures and themes and Santa Claus and all that, and I'm like, oh, the lies continue, and I just have to go hide in my house. Because those of us who are aware and awake, like you're talking about tonight, we've been diving into the rabbit hole, and we've been researching, and we've been in the Hebrew, and we've been doing all this work, and we go, oh, so it wasn't winter that he was born in. That's like the first thing we go, oh my goodness, you mean it wasn't Christmas? It wasn't really. Go ahead. I mean, just so many.
Yeah, there's so many, and we could spend. But see, the point I want to make here, and I've been to India, I've been up to the Himalayas, I've been on beautiful islands in the Caribbean. In fact, one of the islands I was on was a direct remnant of Atlantis.
Wow.
And actually, all the islands are but there's more of a frequency and vibration on certain islands.
Really?
And I was on Barbados one time, and I had an incredible experience with seeing a being that was there and wasn't there. And, you know, from a scientific point of view, they say that all the grains of sand have migrated from Africa, coming across the currents of the ocean. But it's deeper than that. Just about all the Atlantic and part of North America was Atlantis. And
Really?
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then but see, it all goes back to consciousness. In my last thing, I talked about there's 3 levels of understanding, you know,
Overstanding.
overstanding, understanding, understanding. And really what understanding means is to stand under. So it has a brace for it. But in this era of what we call Kali Yuga, or the age of ignorance, things are based on superstition and belief. Okay. The first level is superstition, where people create the reality, the rabbit's foot, you walk on the ladder, you know, and if people really believe that, they create that reality. Okay. Then there's belief. You know, you can believe the world is flat, you can believe it's, you know, you can believe anything. And we're so powerful, we create a lot of our beliefs. All right.
Oh yeah.
But the highest level, okay, the highest level, which is at the level of our natural birthright, is the level of knowingness. Okay. Where you know the truth, and then the truth will set you free.
Now, how do we come into that knowingness? What are some of the ways you have come into that knowingness?
Well, the highest and best way and the fastest way is through deep meditation. Surface meditation won't get you there. It will help to clear up the mind, but you got to go deep within your subconscious. You got to go deep within your, as the psychologists say, into your own psyche. All right. And there's a lot of ways. In fact, we talked about, you know, some last time, my book, I put 108 ways to raise your vibration. Raising your vibration takes you closer into knowingness. Knowingness is really cosmic conscious. When you establish knowingness, you're cosmically conscious. You're a Christed being. Okay. The Buddha back in the day, 500 years before Christ, he used to call it nirvana. Okay. And there are different names for it. Enlightenment, you know, God realization. This is not some way out mystical thing that, you know, you once in a while hear about. This is a reality if you raise your consciousness and get into knowingness. Going back to that great quote, be still and know.
I am creator.
Yes.
I am creator.
So that level of knowingness comes from the refinement of the nervous system and activating both parts of your brain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We only generally use one side, but we have the capacity to use both.
Yes. Yes.
So you want to tap into it, and you want to get the stress off of your nervous system. Your nervous system is your vehicle for perception. So as you get the stress off, you start to wake up, and you start to come from being in humankind, limited to a bag of bones, and you're getting old and die, to God kind, where you youth, okay, and you ascend. In fact, death is a relatively new experience on planet Earth. Everybody used to ascend. But if you're caught up in that 3D reality, that's what you see around. You see people in hospitals, you know, the graveyards, You know, people on walkers.
Hospitals. Don't leave out hospitals. Waiting to die.
It's such a setup.
Yeah. And I have to thank you for helping me create my own book cover by using my intuition, because you remember last time you were here, I said, "Oh, can you help me create my book cover?" And you said, "Well, you have to do that with your own intuition." I'm paraphrasing, but you told me basically you can do it. Go in, go deep, and I did that. And because my nervous system was a little rattled about these people trying to create a cover for me, that I was like, ah. I came up with something from deep within, and thanks to a friend, a sacred geometry artist who sent me something, I said, "That's it."
There you go.
So yeah, synchronicity and the meditation and words from someone like yourself helped me create what I needed for this moment. So thank you for that advice.
Everything is inside of you. That's why in you know, in our great God spell, the book that's misunderstood a lot, it's called the Bible, and you know, it's been interpreted for you know, over 700 times. But there's so much truth in it, but it depends on your level of consciousness. But one of the greatest truths, okay, is that the kingdom of heaven is within.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the Messiah said those words, and it seems to have gone over people's heads for hundreds of years. At least, well, like you said, we're in this age of ignorance. And that's one of those truths that we need to bring up again and again and again. The kingdom is within you. The kingdom is within you. The kingdom is within you.
Absolutely. But you got to be able to tap it. See, we're literally gods, goddesses, sorcerers, shaman. We're great beings of light, love, and bliss. Okay. But if you don't realize it, it can be hard to make it down the street. And people know that. I mean, it's like, it can be even hard to wake up. You know, I mentioned that last time. I mentioned it again. Just think about it. I mean, everybody accepts it, but you fall asleep. You get knocked out. After you've been aware for a while, you get knocked out. You go unconscious. But yet your heart is still beating. The blood is still going through your vein. There's some consciousness in you. Why aren't you aware of that consciousness? Okay? So there's states of consciousness that you can reach where you are awake, aware, and vibrantly alive 24/7 during the waking, dreaming, and sleep states. There's certain organs in your body that need a little more prolonged rest, but you don't have to be knocked out, snoring and slobbering and
Great description. Ooh, buddy. That's what, you know, funny thing is people go to church and that's what happens to them. They go to sleep.
Yeah, because the system wants to settle down. The deeper the rest, the more profound the activity. Okay. The further you pull the bow back, the greater the arrow will go.
Right. Okay.
You see?
Yeah. Yes.
But there are techniques that even amongst your waking hours, that if you apply them, okay, then you start to have less and less stress on your nervous system till you get to the point where you're cosmically conscious and you're in 24-hour bliss. It's not once in a while you get happy. No. All happiness, all bliss, all joy is also inside of you. But you got to be able to tap it. And most people are taught you look for some outside pleasure to stimulate it. Okay.
I went to a church yesterday where a prophet has been teaching for a long time. I was with his group for a long time, and he's really into the Hebrew, Yahweh, Yeshua, and all that. But he had a message on his table that you need a savior. You need Yeshua as your savior. And that's what, like, nah.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily. So to me, that was a distract. That's the distraction that many religious people are falling into, that it's something out here that you need.
Right. Yes.
Instead of going within with deep meditation, as you're talking about.
Yes. And see, in ancient times, you did need a Messiah. You did need a guru, okay, to kind of guide you, because the lack of consciousness on the planet was so gross.
Okay.
But now you're your own guru. You're your own Messiah. You're your own, reverend, rabbi, priest, okay? But you can also still have guidance. You see? Some guidance and also accountability, because most human beings, they get caught up into the everyday fear frequency that's being perpetuated in the media and life, the dog eat dog, all this stuff. So you need to be around a group of beings and also have some guide. That's why they have coaches these days. The most successful people on the planet have coaches. And most people think that they're regular people, they got a job, or they exist. They don't need a coach. Everybody needs a coach. Okay? You can have that innate ability, and the coach can help you with accountability, okay, guidance, all right, and support. You see? And support. Those three things. But you're your own guru, but you got to tap into it. And someone can help you and guide you to tap into it more and more. And you definitely have to refine your physiology, your body temple. And see, that's what happens with people. As they get old, if you notice, as people get more mature, I don't have to use the word old, okay? More mature, the disease of aging, which is a disease, starts to take an effect, okay? And as the body starts to break down, people are more concerned about keeping their health together. But your health, your physical body, the basis of it is your spiritual body. We have 5 bodies, actually 4, but I throw 5 in. You got your mental body, you got your emotional body, you have your physical body, and then you have your spiritual body. All right. There are other names for them as you get into the metaphysical, spiritual, esoteric. Some people call causal bodies in this body. But the 4 main bodies are mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. The spiritual is the basis of the physical. As above, so below. As within, so without. The spiritual is the basis of the mental body. The spiritual is the basis of the emotional body. Remember, we talked about this before. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. Even psychologists have stated 60 to 100, the average person during their waking state, that's not even including their dreaming and sleeping states, has 60 to 100,000 thoughts a day. Minimum. Every day of their entire life. Now, what is a thought? You can't grab a thought. It's not physical. A thought is spiritual. Where do thoughts come from? People have no idea. That's
we have no idea.
You have no idea. And a lot of times the thoughts that you have are not even your own thoughts. It's such that you pick up. You see?
Right. And then do you think
on these things? Yeah.
And you think a lot of thoughts are from people's past?
Yes.
That people are so much into the past that most of their thoughts. In fact, would that be someone who's really sick or in dis-ease state? They're probably in the past thoughts more than they're in the present.
Well, there are lower frequency thoughts, medium level, and higher level frequency thoughts. As a person creates sickness, they're focusing on the low frequency vibrational thoughts. Whether they're from, a lot of times they're from the past, but they can also be from the present. Okay. And it can be from the past, which most people don't want to acknowledge. We're multidimensional light beings.
Right.
Energies neither created nor destroyed. Now you can drop your body, but that's a whole nother misnomer. You do not die. You're eternal. You're infinite. Okay? But if you're not conscious of it, then you create a reality. The universe says, okay, your wish is my command. All the good, bad, and ugly stuff we make up ourselves is just an experience.
Okay.
But the experience, we've also created karma. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So what you've put out is going to come back. In fact, there was a bestseller New York Times book called "Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People?" You tell me why.
Karma,
right. All right.
And I have met so many people who are saying, I don't understand why this is happening to me. And I'm always thinking it's a past life probably, but I don't always say that. But it seems like when we can't figure out why we're going through something, a lot of times it's something from our past life or a past dimension or other dimension that we are bringing forward into this existence, maybe.
And a prenatal. You pick up 9 months within your mother's womb.
Big time.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of stresses. Okay. Stress, the definition of stress is any chemical or structural imbalance that remains in the system after an overload of experience. A general definition is any imprint on your nervous system, like me talking to you now, the wind blowing in your face, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether you just went to the bathroom. All those leave impressions. You got these millions of nerve ends throughout every fiber of your body. They're like antennas, all right? And they pick up every experience that you have. They're connected to your brain by neurons. Neurons firing produces your mind, which is not a physical entity. All right. So if you keep perpetuating certain thoughts, neurons that fire together, wire together, then you start creating that reality. And most thoughts in this age of ignorance called Kali Yuga or the third dimension are based on death, disease, destruction, scarcity, and poverty. And you have those thoughts over and over again. It's just like a farmer planting seeds. You keep planting those seeds, that's what's going to sprout. I'll give you another example. We're taught in this culture to be upset and pissed off if something doesn't go your way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But what they don't tell you is if you go past 64 seconds, you start putting the stress about that particular thing right back on yourself. Okay. So on an average, you got about a little over a minute to freak out, curse somebody out, curse somebody.
And then,
right.
And then
that's where the discipline, that's where the master, we're all masters. Stop it. You're the master. Okay.
That is so important for everybody. Wait, we got to rewind. That is so important. And I try and teach that every Friday. And I emphasize that a lot, that the energy that you put out, the reactions that we have to situations We need to express the anger. We need to express whatever, but holding on to it, ooh, the cells in our body are going to be affected. I didn't realize the timing on it. What did you say the timing was on that? If you hold on to it for longer than what now?
64 seconds.
64 seconds. Everybody got that?
Oh,
Okay. It's
right,
for
yeah.
anger, frustration, pissed off, out for 1 minute, and then turn it around and say, I'm so grateful. How about that one?
There
I
you go.
am so, in
Awesome
fact,
technique.
I just read that recently. I forget, or I heard it. I watched so much YouTube that someone said that getting into gratitude quickly is the best way to stay in like homeostasis or to stay balanced and out of disease. All right, everybody repeat after me. I will not hold on to any negative emotions more than 1 minute, right?
Right, exactly.
I gotta get it out. I
Right,
don't know.
exactly.
I don't know why he won. I don't know why he's gonna be in the White House.
Yeah.
Don't hold on that for a week or two, please. Yeah. That's
You're
how
just
you
destroying your own nervous system.
well,
Literally.
urinary tract infections showed up,
Exactly.
because people were holding
And more
on,
other stuff.
get pissed off for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and the bladder said, "Okay, I got it."
Right.
Inflammation. Everybody got that now? I will not hold on to any more negative emotions more than 1 minute, and I will get into gratitude quickly,
Yes.
right? All right. Woo, we
Gratitude.
cleaned that up quick.
And see, the
Love
thing
it.
is, the system cannot hold lower vibrations and higher vibrations at the same time.
Hallelujah.
So
Yes.
it can't
Yes.
hold hate or worry or disgust when you're holding on to gratitude, thanksgiving, okay, and joy and harmony. And the ultimate truth, see, there's fact and there's truth. You see?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
facts are, okay, so and so won the election, or the fact is, my boss fired me for no reason, okay, and I'm pissed off. But the truth is that you are a multidimensional being of light, and you've created some contrast in your life, and learn from the experience instead of getting caught up in it.
Yes. And how about you are a goddess who can create a better situation
Yes,
than what you just finished? Or we can create a better country, a better government, a better community, a better family than what we just went through.
exactly.
And keep it
But it
going.
always starts with you, though. See, most people want
Yeah.
to look at outwardly. We want to do this. We want to,
Yeah.
no, you go within.
Yes.
And then you
Yes.
function from the level of inspiration. Inspiration means in spirit. And you do it with enthusiasm. Enthos, that means in God, in that God realization, in that light, that love, that bliss. There's only one definition in the God spell. It's that gospel. It's the God spell. We're creating spells all the time with our words, our looks, our actions. It says that God is love. The more you love, the more you evolve. The more you evolve, the more you love. That's an acronym. LOVEEVOL. Okay. So do whatever you can to elevate your consciousness, to go back home. Your primary concern is to be self-aware. And to be self-aware, it means that you're self-aware of the universe, of God, of truth, of light, of love, of bliss. As above, so below. As within, so without. So the heavens is really a state of mind. Okay? Your higher self. The hell is your lower state of mind, but it's you. Everybody is conditioned to put it on outside of something else. Outside is effect. Inside is cause. You see? What people try to do is move effects around, No, you go to the source. And what, God bless it, because, it helps people to get started. But most religions are set up to keep people in slavery.
Well, I
Okay.
was just going to say that, you said the God spell, talking
Yes.
about the gospel of Jesus Christ. We all grew up with, most of us probably grew up with Sunday school, learning the God spell of Jesus Christ. And then now you're talking about how that was keeping us in a lower vibration of sorts, because we were looking for a man to save us. And in this dimension, in this time, we don't need a man to save us. We need to go within. So that God's and the words that the Catholic Church use, that the Methodists use, that the Baptists use, put us in a spell.
Yes.
And then the
Absolutely.
song put us in a spell. It's all
Right.
about Jesus. It's all about Jesus. We need Jesus. Right. We then come up here to the altar to get Jesus. Come up here, and we go back home, and we like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. But I got
you beg. You got to get on your knees and beg. No. What it really is the law of command. You step into your Christhood. You step into your greatness. And the universe is always listening, always giving to you, but you got to know how to execute it. The law of command. See, there's certain universal laws. I actually teach a course on the universal laws. There's 7 major ones. All right. And one of them is the law of command, which has been used backwards with prayer. Okay. Prayer is very effective because the words that come out of your mouth can only be effective to the level of your consciousness. See, knowledge is different in different states of consciousness. So you want to affirm. That's where the whole thing of affirmations come from. You're affirming, which is part of the law of command. All right. The universe is for you, through you, and around you. Like I tell people sometimes, okay, your name, because it's such a beautiful name, is Vayata?
Yes.
Okay, Vayata. Tell me, where does God end and Vayata begin?
Ooh, that's a good question. Where does the creator end?
Yes.
It's all one to me. It's all I am creator. It doesn't end or begin. It's all one in my belief, in my understanding. And I'm all mixed. They're all. I call them they. They're all mixed in. The creator's energy is all mixed in. In fact, my name, I changed it because the Vav in Hebrew is a connector to Yah. Vayata is a change from my birth name, because I started studying Hebrew, and the Vav, which my name was already Vieta or Vi. It started at Vieta, went to Vieta, and then when I was in a church service, I heard Viata. And so I wanted Yah, the hallelujah, in the middle of my name.
Yeah.
So I put
And
the Vav.
Yahweh. Yeah.
The Vav is a connector to Yah, and so Yah and Va are all the same.
Yes. And so you're an aware person, but most people, when you ask them that question, they create the separation.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You see?
Yeah.
But if God is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, which just about any religion can agree on, they have different points of view, but everybody says that God is all of that and everything else.
Right.
Where can God end and you begin as a separate individual? One of the biggest challenges on this planet is what's perpetuated in the age of ignorance is the separation. The coming back home is the unification of mind, body, spirit, emotion, physical body. Your spiritual being having a human experience. And that human experience involves your emotions, and your mental body. All right. And you are in God, through God, and for God. All right. You're made in the image and likeness of God, the Creator. And that's another thing. We've gotten off the path of creating. We've been conditioning people, you know, oh, I got to pay bills. Oh, they teach me in school how to follow instructions so I can get a job. Right there is cutting off your creativity. You're a creator. What are you creating? Besides a paycheck, which most of it is gone by the end of every 2 weeks. That's why they call it job. J-O-B. Just over broke.
That's right. That's the truth. Yep, that's the truth.
You know, I teach another course. That's what I'm saying. Guidance. And I've learned from great mentors, and literally I spent over $250,000 in training. All right. And have over 75,000 hours in training and meditation. Okay. One course I went on for 6 months in the Swiss Alps, just up in the mountains. Okay. And, you know, from 6 in the morning to 10 at night, just going deeper and deeper within my own consciousness. Getting rid of the sub. See, they don't tell you can get rid of your subconscious. They're saying to reprogram your subconscious, but you can get rid of it. You can be totally 1,000% conscious, which is your natural birthright. Then you're considered a super being. You're considered a Christed being. The word Christ was around way before Jesus the Christ or Yeshua the Christ. A long time way before. Okay. And then you can also learn how to create Christos oil in your body, which in the East they call soma, which is the ambrosia of the gods. And you create it in your own body, and that creates youthing and reversing the aging process instead of death and dying. In fact, modern science has already found a hormone in modern man, and they literally call it, you can look it up, it's called the death hormone.
Ooh.
So people think they're going to die before 100, and guess what? They do. Because that's what they're creating it, right?
That's so crazy because hormones are just messengers. But if you're sending out that message, then that's the message that's going to show up in your water. I just thought about something. You said the word the Christ is older than modern times or something you said. But yes. I was thinking about Mashiach. The Hebrew word for Christ is Mashiach. It's Yeshua HaMashiach. And the mayim in Mashiach means water. So if the Mashiach, the water in us, 90%, 80%, was here long ago, we're just manifesting some new water or revived water or whatever. I was just thinking about that water. Christ's been here for a while.
Quite a time.
Water's been here for a while.
Water has been here for billions of years. Yeah.
Oh,
and like you say, we're 80 to 90% water. Yes.
Right. So when this death hormone you're talking about is there, that's powerful. This is just the death hormone is a messenger that's you're sending into your waters, which is going to create death.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Because that Emoto, the guy with the water crystal.
Yeah.
That's in line with what he taught, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he just proved it because see, it's your consciousness. And water transfers information.
Yes, so yes.
What you're projecting in your yeah, right.
This is deep. This is deep. Yeah, yeah. We're sending that death hormone through our waters and creating death in our cells and our organs and our tissues instead of what would be the reverse of sending a messenger of death through the waters? What?
You would be sending the message of love, light, and bliss. Okay. Instead of death, disease, and destruction.
Right.
But they're all part of creation. You see? Right. In the East, I mean, here in the West, we call it the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Okay. In the East, they call it Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva.
Right.
Scientifically, they call it positive, negative, and neutral. Those three elements exist for creation, for physical creation to exist. You take one of them out, it's just that you can reach a state where the predominance, where the 99.9% is what is called sattva, or golden. That's where the terms come from. Sat Yuga. The terms, the age of enlightenment. All right. And those things come about when enough people reach certain states of awareness. See, it always goes back to you, and it always goes back to your development of consciousness. If you want to see the world change, you change yourself.
Ooh, ouch, that hurts.
Right.
Because you know why? Because so many people have struggled with change.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, we get so stuck in our ways, and especially as we get older. I'm just keep bringing the message. If you don't want Alzheimer's, you're gonna have to learn something new every day, and that kind of moves some of people into change. But it's a slow process to change.
And as you become more conscious, you reach the point where you don't create those situations. Right now, everybody's accepting it, and they're trying to push things on the outer world. Let me take this. Let me go to the doctor. Let me do this. No. You go within, develop your consciousness, and you transcend it, which means you go beyond it. If it's a dark room, you don't keep trying to push the darkness out. You bring in a new element. You bring in the light. Okay? So that's why one of the things that I literally preach and push is to develop your consciousness. And one of the easiest ways to do that, which is the technique that I learned in Ethiopia at the base of the Blue Nile, is called TM, Transcendental Meditation. I call it the Rolls Royce of meditation. Everybody has some meditation or some prayer or something, but get some Rolls Royce. Go to the higher.
Yeah, okay. I hear you. Yeah. So you're gonna tell us what that is. Let me take a break. I'm just having to absorb all this. Some things keep popping up as you're speaking that go to another place and a here and a there. And I'm like, okay, let's take a break. Everybody take a deep breath. Oh, you know what? I want to read some of the comments first because I don't want to ignore. Kwame Sunhorse is here. And he was, okay, I think that was, how can we share? Okay, I put in a comment, is there a share? There should be a share button on YouTube. And I think this person found it. But this, let me read, take my glasses off. Okay, wow, most of what you've said was already written on my heart. Thank you, Alphabet Al. And the other words are helping me heal my shadow. This is a great heart-based talk. And then that's Trey's Myths and Tunes. And then he had another comment here that says, yes, I just sent this talk to my subscribers with the share button. Thanks so much. All right, everybody. And those are the comments so far. Do we have any comments in the On Air Everywhere Network? I don't see. I know I heard a few people come in. Are there any comments before we go to the break? Or questions on the On Air Network? Okay, if we don't have any comments or questions, then I'm going to take a break, and everybody take a deep breath and just absorb what we've talked about so far and personalize it. Wouldn't you say, Master?
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're throwing out a lot of our learning, our experience. Analyze this wisdom. We're sharing a lot of wisdom tonight. So on this break, just take a break and personalize it to your own life and your own journey.
Have you ever wondered why some of the healthiest people still get sick? Or why the occurrence of learning disabilities like ADHD have drastically increased over the last 50 years? How is it that the cancer rate has gone from 1 in 8,000 back in the 1910s to 1 in 2 today? Isn't it odd that even though we are more focused on health than ever before, that there's still been an increase in diseases, disorders, illnesses, and other conditions that destroy your quality of life? What if we told you that the very things you're using in your home to avoid these health concerns are actually what's causing them? If you're the decision maker in your home, you know how overwhelming it can be to keep your family safe. Today, we'd like to welcome you and simply provide you with some important information and shed some light on some health concerns you may not be aware of. Over the last 100 years, thousands of toxic chemicals have been introduced into society because of an excessive overstock of chemicals designed for warfare in the Second World War. Today, as the 2013 documentary The Human Experiment states, quote, 42 billion pounds of toxic chemicals enter into commerce every day. That amount would fill up 623,000 tanker trucks. And as we speak, there are over 80,000 such chemicals on the market in the U.S. Over the last half century, chemical usage has gone up by 2,000%.
So I'm going to stop that right there and say, on a personal level, we don't have to get angry about the pollution and the toxic environment we live in. We are individually responsible to change that, I believe. I did today. I picked up trash in my neighborhood, and I noticed the whole time all the plastic I was picking up, and it was worse than usual. But I'm committed to cover a whole block of my area, plus my whole neighborhood. And I realized that when I do this, I'm making a difference, but nobody else is doing it. So who's responsible? The city's not picking up the trash. They pick up the bags from each house. But I think if each one of us become more aware, and that's what this show is about, becoming more aware, either to speak to your city council and tell them to pick up the trash, because that's what's polluting all this plastic in the neighborhood that I have to pick up is actually outgassing, creating a worse atmosphere. But I'm not pissed about it at all, because I'm grateful that at my age I can bend over more than 100 times and pick up trash. That's my attitude when I pick up trash. I'm almost 70 years old, and I can pick up trash through the neighborhood and not come home with a backache or knee ache or any ache. So all I have is gratitude. So we're living the life here. Master Jay and I are not just talking. We're living the life. I don't have any aches or pains after walking for an hour picking up trash. So this is the change. Here we go. This is the type of change we need in our community first, and then our city, and all that talk about pollution and labels that have toxins. We don't have to be pissed off anymore. We should just be in gratitude that we have a voice and that we have a government in our city that we can talk to and tell them, look, we need some changes done. Let's take our power back. And okay, so that's my little spiel on that commercial. And we got a few people. Zelda, our Monday morning mindfulness host, is here, and she says, How to Have a Merry Mental Health is her show tomorrow with veteran mental health clinician Khalid Scott has become one of my favorite Facebook friends. That man, he's a mental health counselor, and he's on Facebook with me. And I'm like, when I see him, I read everything he has to say. Anyway, yes. So we're going to join Zelda tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. on Monday Morning Mindfulness on the Female Solution. So back to Master J. Ra, we want to be awake, aware, and vibrantly alive. I want to know, how did you get introduced to Transcendental Meditation? I mean, here you are, a Black man in the U.S., and that's like a Far East thing. What are you doing over there doing TM? Well, how did you actually get introduced to that?
I was actually introduced to by a little Black lady that you would call like your favorite aunt, you know, when I was in Atlanta, going to Morehouse College. I was blessed. I was one of the first people in my family to, you know, go to higher education. And this beautiful aunt-like lady took me in. And this was back in the day when, you know, when you're in college and university, you were experimenting a lot and what have you, you know, the whole
You're free.
Yeah, right.
You either drink, have lots of sex, or go to TM, right?
right. Which I didn't go at first, and also a lot of non-prescribed drugs.
Yeah.
So I had some mind altering experiences. And when I went in to learn meditation, because someone had told me it was better than some drugs that I was actually had in my pocket, I said, let me go check this out. And they referred me to this little Black lady in a place in Atlanta they don't even talk about it anymore. It's called Buttermilk Bottom. That's how deep it was, okay, and how much stress that was there.
Wow.
And when I walked in, she said, "You're going to take over for me."
Wow.
I said, "Take over what? I wear dark shades at nighttime."
Okay, surprise, you're it. Like the Matrix.
Yeah. And 2 years later, I was on a course studying to become a teacher, TM, and learning the sacred science of sound, mantras. And that's what I've been teaching ever since. It completely changed my life. And I've been, that's what took me around to 35 countries. That's what, took me to, the Himalayas, to, parts of Africa, the Caribbean, all over Europe, South America, the whole 9 yards. So it's been a blessing. And I'm just shouting at the mountaintops. Look, we're all gods, goddesses, great being. If you're a human being on planet Earth with a nervous system, and I won't get into that because there are a few other types of beings here, but if you're a human being on planet Earth with a nervous system, you have the potential to be a Christed being, to be a God-realized being, to be an avatar, to go from humankind to Godkind.
Yes.
That's in your DNA.
Yes.
We have 12 strands of DNA. Modern science said we're only using 2. The other 10 is junk DNA. And as you know, the universe doesn't create anything junk.
That's right.
Okay. So the other 10 strands of DNA, the other 5 chakras, major chakras, there's literally over 100 chakras, but the 7 major ones that are in your body, which are just energy centers.
Yes.
There's 5 more. And when you activate the 12 chakras and the 12 strands of DNA, then you step in as a master. Then you step in as a realized being. Then you step in as your God-given birthright, okay, to be self-realized, a fully realized human being. Okay. So, but you got to do the work, because we're made in the image and likeness of God, which is the creator. And what we've been creating on this planet during this frequency and vibration is death, disease, destruction, scarcity, and poverty. So to create the opposite of that and move from a 3D reality to a fifth dimensional reality, you got to do some inner work. It's not outside work. It's inner work. Okay? And you have to be your own spiritual teacher, but with guidance and support and accountability. That's what a guru is. A guru is a spiritual teacher. All right? And most of our experience, even though we're physically involved in things and you got a body and it takes effort to do things, but most of our experience is spiritual. We're just not conscious of it. So what we do, I have an institute. It's called the Real Wealth Institute. All right. And what is your real wealth? Okay. You can have wealth, you know, gold, money, stuff like that, physical riches, but your real wealth is your creativity, your intelligence, your intuition, your will, okay, your joy, your happiness. So our institute is about helping people to realize their full potential to be the best that they can be mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and in the Western world, because we don't create our own reality, okay, financially, sometimes known as the law of attraction, the secret, all of that stuff. Again, all that is from a development of consciousness and how to use it. So manifesting, you're manifesting all the time anyway. We just want you to be conscious of it and get better at it. You see? And expand your conscious mind from a 5 or 10% and going through your subconscious and your unconscious to your superconscious, which in ancient times they used to call the self with the big S. Okay. Or we refer to it as pure consciousness that hasn't been tainted by the stresses and strains and conditionings in your nervous system, where you can have pure consciousness go through all of your system. And that pure consciousness is connected to what some ancients has referred to as the mouth of God. The mouth of God is the mind of man.
The mouth of the creator. The mouth of the creator is the mind of man. Okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah. In the beginning was the word.
Yes. Absolutely.
And the word was creator, and then we're made in the image. So
yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But for you to realize it, though, realize,
right.
That's where the work comes in. That's where the transcending comes in. That's where refining the nervous system. That's where developing your consciousness comes in. Because if you don't, then you're going to get old and die. Yes. Yeah, you won't be able to wake up in the morning without an alarm clock because you don't have enough consciousness. It's like trying to play a piano with 1 or 10 fingers. And then you're going to be caught up into facts, not truth. See, you start in ancient Kemet, in front of most of the temples, it says, know thyself. Okay? You got to know yourself to know the truth. And then once you know the truth will set you free. That's why in the East, they refer to it as Maya. Maya means illusion. You get caught up in this illusion. It's real if you're on that level. Give you an example. You know the story of Daniel in the lion's den.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They had starved the lions. And normally they just eat people up. But his consciousness was high enough where they didn't bother him. They were pussycats. But if the fear starts coming in, okay, then their lunch, then he would be lunch or dinner.
Isn't that the truth with nature in general?
Yes.
I think about bees. My grandson is terrified of bees. He got stung by a bee and he went into a whole terror of anxiety. And I never get stung by bees. They land on me and I say hi, and because I've come out of the fear.
Yes.
But I think that's with anything. If you're in a
Across
situation
the
with
board.
even maybe a bear, even if you show fear, then the energy of fear is probably more dangerous than
Yes.
if you
But see, the
just
thing
have.
is, it's not something that you can, you know, you have to develop your nervous system and your
Yeah,
brain.
yeah.
Okay. And you got to get the stress out, because the stress will create the fear for you.
Oh,
But if you have
yeah,
enough development of consciousness,
yeah, yeah.
I studied with another, a great master who actually spent 14 years in the desert. I mean, in the jungles, deep in the Himalayas, and where there were cobras, tigers, lions, panthers, and for 14 years never left
Wow.
these dense areas, and any animal that came within a mile of them any wild animal became tame, because their aura was just that strong. Okay, so there's all types of experiences, but the experience that's being perpetuated in modern society is all based on fear. It's all based on lack and limitation, and it's all based on taking you out. Really, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, there's wars that's happening in the Middle East and this and that, and there are monetary wars going on in this, but the real war that's going on is a spiritual war, to get your mind, to get your thoughts, and then it reflects, and you can rise above it. But if you just go along with the status quo, then you're going to be like the Pied Piper. These fairy tales, they tell you. Okay.
Okay, so NDB is asking, why is it so expensive to do TM? Is it expensive?
Okay. Now, it's not necessarily expensive. It's like the cost of a TV. But when people look at it, because their perspective about it, okay. And then if you really want to do it, depending on the center, there are scholarships and things like that available. But you pay it for once, and there's a lifetime follow-up program in it. I mean, if you go to a psychiatrist and psychologist, you got to pay $100 to $500 per hour. And some people go for years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Okay?
yeah. It's relative. It's very relative.
Very relative. And the other thing about it too is people are not used to investing for things that help them spiritually.
Yeah. Yeah, I liken it to a new car. A new car is the worst investment. But people will spend $20,000-$30,000 on a new car, take it off the lot, and it depreciates. Now, how well will your investment in TM depreciate? It'll never depreciate. It'll increase in value because it's going to keep you out of disease. That's how I would look at it. Now, yeah, it might be expensive to be, because like you said, it's relative to our own beliefs and our values that we have in things in our life. And like you said, you're going to go to therapy, spend $100 an hour, but will you invest in the money? 500? Yeah, I know it's expensive. And a car is the worst investment, but people will spend thousands and thousands of dollars for the worst investment, and then it depreciates, and you have to spend more money to maintain it. Oh my goodness.
Right. Exactly.
And all you have to do with TM to maintain it is use it in your time. It's time maintenance, right?
Right. Which you deserve to yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
And we help you with that, and there's support with that. And they even have it set up where there's a payment program, and people who really can't afford it, there's scholarships. So it's not about the money, but there is a level of maintenance. Okay. Forever. All right.
And that's with anything.
TM on an average runs between like $400 to maybe $1,000, depending on your level of income.
Right.
And if you on Social Security or don't have income coming in, it could be less than that, or you can even get a scholarship. But that's a one-time thing, and that can be paid in payments.
Okay.
You only pay close to $1,000 if you're making $100,000 to $200,000 a year. If you're making $200,000 a year, then it's $1,000.
So they base it on your income. They base it on your income.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I hope that helps you, Indy, to get started. get going, girl. And then Kwame.
And if you're in Atlanta, Washington D.C., Philadelphia, or Chicago, I will be giving classes in those areas in 2025, and I will give people partial scholarships. All right. So any of those places, you contact me, I will help, and you can make a payment plan. But it's just like everything else in life. The farmer can't go to the land and say, "Give me crops." They got to put in some seed. Okay.
Of course.
So there's an exchange of value, but we try to make it as inexpensive as possible. It's actually priceless. Okay. So, but if you're in any of those places, contact me. All right. And we're going to be having some special classes in those areas in 2025. Also, I put a thing in the chat that I'm having a 5-day starting tomorrow on those areas of life: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and financial summit challenge for free through Zoom. Okay. Which, as you know, you can do right in your car, right at home, right on your phone, whatever. All right. And this type of knowledge and more will be given out for you. And we're going to give out a lot of free knowledge. And then I have an institute that if you want, support, guidance, and support, guidance, and accountability, I have a membership program that is just $5 a week. If you can't put $5 a week into your spiritual development and your mental development, your emotional development, okay, and your physical and spiritual development, then God bless you. Just get old and die.
Oh dear. No, we want everybody to be blessed. So go to the website, the WHO, what is it? WHO 5-day challenge.
Wow. See, wow. I'm a WOW coach. WOW stands for wealth, health, opulence, and wisdom. I'm a master meditation teacher and a WOW coach.
Okay.
And in all those trainings, I recommend that TM is a base. TM, just like if you're building a building, you got to have a strong foundation. But then we teach you other techniques. We also have activations, which you get right over Zoom. When you work with us, we help you to activate those other 10 strands of DNA. We help you to activate those other energy centers. Okay. And we explain, how your system works. Most people they have no idea how their system works. Okay. The energy, you're an energetic being. You're electrical. There's enough electricity in your brain to run a small city. There's enough magnetism in your heart that it goes out 5,000 times more than the electricity in your brain. The two together creates electromagnetism. You're the electrical magnetic being of love, light, and bliss. Multidimensional being.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And even what I write about in my book is only one dimension, and people are unaware of that. And so there's so much learning to be done about this whole vessel of clay, this whole
Yes.
biological computer, this
Yes.
whole aura, this whole chakra chart here. That's why we don't have time to be distracted with who's in the president's office. That's
Right.
a joke. That's a clown show over there in Washington,
Right.
D.C. So I want to encourage people to get out of Washington, D.C. mentally, spiritually, all that. Get away from that whole scene of the clown show and start learning how to do TM and start learning about this master design. We have some callers in the on air. Mama AZ, you have texted me. I don't know. Is your mic open? Go ahead and speak if you're on air everywhere network. Go ahead. I think your mic is open.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me, Dr. V?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I have several questions, and I'd like to dedicate this show to my little sister friend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Princess Gerald. Her dad is in the house. He's on the other side, and he was all about transcendental meditation and many, many, many other things. And she and I just had this reasoning last night. So, Miss Princess, look into what I told you about. This is a sign that this dear one is offering classes. And I don't know, Master, are you going to be reaching out to Winston-Salem or North Carolina near High Point, Greensboro in the future?
Yes. See, what I do is I have a community and I do Zoom courses. And what I'm doing for around the country and getting ready to move into around the world. But if enough people, come on the lectures and decide to sign up in an area, if I have 5 or more people who sign up in an area after they've heard there's 7 steps of learning TM. One is the intro lecture. The other one is the preparatory lecture. You just don't walk in and learn it, okay? You just don't read a book and learn it. You just don't go on to YouTube. It's taught one-on-one individually, all right? And everybody has their own sacred sound that has been passed down for millenniums, all right? So you have the TM technique, and then you have the mantra or sound that helps you to go to these deeper levels within your nervous system and within your brain, all right? So if I get 5 or more people who sign up in an area, I will go to that area.
Okay, Princess, if you're not on the line, if you hear that, your dad is telling you, this is worthy of you looking into this. And family, I am so grateful when the ancestors brought me to Virginia and North Carolina in 1979. I've lived there more than I've been on this planet anywhere. And the blessings of all the people, the Silver Method and Roy Gerald, who taught me a lot of things. He's Lumbee, Indian, and from Lumberton, North Carolina. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for you, Master. I'm grateful for Brother Kwame. I'm grateful for everybody that has been on this journey with me to this very second. So I'm dedicating this show to you, Princess Gerald, and you look into the Transcendental Meditation. It's very important. I love us. I love you. Thank you, Master, for just being on the planet. Thank us.
Thank us. Is there anyone else on the on-air radio network with a comment or a question? Speak up now. Okay. All right, we've got a comment from Kwame. I'm not sure what this means, but I'll go ahead and he said, subsequent to the finding of a child with 3 DNA strands, researchers are now stating that there may be a total of 12 DNA strands and 10 of them are in the process. Do you understand that, Master?
Yes. See, modern science is just starting to catch up with ancient knowledge. All right. And literally, the children that are being born now, he said it was a child, they're coming in fully wired, fired, and inspired. Okay. And so what's happening is we as adults, we need to catch up. Okay.
That's putting it nicely.
All right.
That means I have to have more respect for my grandchildren. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, because also,
I do.
As a cosmic being, they might be in little bodies, but they're super souls, or sometimes referred to as old souls. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely am learning that because so here's the thing. When you're conscious, you hear things from these little souls, these little little bodies, that make you go, But when you're unconscious, you want to spank them.
Right, exactly.
Because they're being disrespectful. That's what I'm learning to step back and say they don't need a spanking. I don't think that, but that felt like disrespect, but yet they're speaking their truth. And yet I'm learning, for instance, with my granddaughter, I said something to her about putting on more clothes because it was cold outside. And she basically told me to mind my own business. And I was offended by that because it's like I felt like it was disrespectful. And yet after I thought about it, I was like, this girl knows what she needs at this. She's 10 years old. She knows what she needs to go outside in 40, 50 degree weather. And I'm trying to interfere and control what she wears when she already understands what she needs. So I had to step back and say, okay, well, maybe she was a little disrespectful, but at the same time, I need to mind my own business and not try and be so controlling. Because like you said, they're coming in here a lot smarter than our generation or even the ones who came after us.
Well, they're coming in more aware. That's another Western thing. Being smarter. That person is really smart. That's the intellect. The intellect can make a mistake at any time. In fact, in ancient culture, it's called the mistake of the intellect. All right. You want to go beyond the intellect. You want to transcend. You want to go to the level of knowingness, the level of intuition, the level of cognition.
That's exactly it. My granddaughter's intuition is becoming sharper. You're right. She's not smarter, but she's becoming more aware of what she needs versus grandma telling her what she needs. Right.
But, also as an adult, you still have to guide them because, there is a level of respect. But beings are becoming more and more conscious. All right. And the thing is, the best thing you can do for your family, your city, your nation, your world is to become more conscious. I recently saw a quote, and it just fits into, what I give forth and speak out. The quote is, start understanding yourself as an evolving being of light. Your role on this planet is to first and foremost evolve your consciousness. Your role on this planet is to first and foremost evolve your consciousness. It's not to pay bills, okay? Even though we got to do that, but that's not your first and foremost. All right. And the amount of time and investment, all right, people are used to putting a little something in church. Very few people will pay for spiritual courses. Okay. But you got to change that. Study. Okay. You know, do the work. There are all kinds of techniques. I put 108 of them in my book. Okay. Remember we talked about that. 108 awesome ways to raise your vibration. Okay. The alchemy of enlightenment. And enlightenment not being some mystical and way out thing, but the perfect and harmonious functioning of the mind and the body that bring about a holistic state of consciousness. It always goes back to your consciousness. And knowledge is different in different states of consciousness. So if you want to stay on the 3D lack and limitation, Kali Yuga, okay, then have fun suffering.
Oh boy.
Have fun going on the yo-yo. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad. Sometimes you feel good, sometimes. No, you can be happy. And what bliss is 24-hour happiness. Okay? Well, bliss is extreme happiness. We're saying that when you become a fully realized human being, you can be in 24-hour bliss in your waking state, in your dream state, and your sleep state. And you're conscious. You're not passed out.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. Mama AZ had another question. Go ahead, Mama AZ.
Thank you so much. Master, how do you feel about being by yourself? I mean, you know, what do you say to especially women when they're pining for somebody and you see you have insight like, dang, it's wise to be by yourself so you can fall in love with yourself. Yes. And learn about yourself. Yeah, and without anybody else's energies rolling around in your campsite. And Denzel Washington, I posted it everywhere I could post it. So he said the same thing. It is good to be by yourself. Yes. So what's your opinion, sir? I'm grateful because I'm by myself.
All right. Well, absolutely. Absolutely. The much time as you can spend with yourself, the better. But see, we've been trained that we got to be with somebody else. That you got to give an example. I know you've heard the thing, oh, I got to find my better half. Right there, that's conditioning. That's saying right there, you're not even whole.
Okay. And twin flames.
Be a better half when you're whole. It's two wholes coming together. And for two wholes to come together, you got to spend time with yourself. Yeah. It's what is called self-referral. But again, that comes from consciousness. If you ask a person to go drink, you know, just like the horse, if you ask them to go drink from the water hole, you can't make them drink. But if they've developed enough consciousness and they've taken enough stress off of their system, then they will start to move towards that which is good for them. And then things that are bad for them will start to fall away. But you got to start from the source, which is your development of consciousness. And most people don't even know that they got a consciousness, let alone develop it. They just accept, okay, you know, when I'm awake, I'm conscious. When I'm asleep, I'm knocked out. I'm unconscious, you know. Your consciousness is with you all the time. It's the sum total of your entire being. And remember, we're human beings, not human doings. You see, we do this, we do that. And what happens when there's too much do-do? It don't smell too good. It starts to decay, okay? We're beings. Learn about your being. And you need to be taught because you're not taught these things. But it's all inside of you. All right? And I recommend TM, but do something. In fact, most of the people that I teach TM to, they have other techniques. Okay. They've reached that point, but everything goes higher. Just like you can go to school, you can go to college, you can go to, graduate school. There's always more and more and more and more. And even within that, with the coaching, with the wild coaching, how to be the best that you can be mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially. How to be at peak performance all times. And being by yourself, that's no big deal because you're so full. Fullness is all that I am within your own self. Because even though something outside of you, like a relationship or, a pay raise or whatever, you feel happiness, guess where you feel it? It's inside. So if you know how to, dissolve the stresses, you can go there all the time because that's your natural birthright, to be in a state of bliss. But the sticks, the stones, the mud is blocking it. And that's the imprints on your nervous system. That's the stress. We help you to get rid of that stress and step into your greatness.
Ooh, that's disease prevention and healing and curing all in one, what you just said. Because the stress, you probably know, professionals have stated over and over again that stress is the number one cause of disease.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you're carrying that in your spinal cord, in your traumas, in your grief, and your all that, then that's you're a walking dis-ease. So Zelda says, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, just to give you a little bit of education, and you kind of know this, but just to tie it together in a simple way, okay? When your mother and your father, when the sperm and the egg come together, you're created spiritually first because there's a spiritual essence around that. And out of that spiritual essence, which I know you don't hear about this much, the first thing that comes out of it is your kundalini, the energy at the base of your spine. It means coiled, okay? If you ever look at the back of an ambulance, you see the caduceus. It's a sword with two snakes around it, all right? That represents your Jacob's ladder, which is the 33 vertebrae from your spine at the base of your spine coming from your kundalini. The kundalini connects up to your brain right at the back of the skull, okay? And that spinal cord coming up and getting the energy up to those 33 vertebrae, all right? That's where the mouth of God becomes the mind of man. But it's blocked. So as you open up, and it goes through those energy centers, the 7 centers, okay, called chakra, which just means wheel. They spin. That energy was there before the physical part comes around it. And every energy center is corresponded to a organ. 95% of people on the planet, yes, there it is. 95% of the people on the planet die of heart disease, heart attack, stroke, something where the heart gives out. Very few people on the planet get above the 3rd chakra. Okay? And I think most of you, if you're on the show, but your first chakra is your root at the base of your anus. Then it's your sexual organs, is your 2nd chakra. Your 3rd chakra is your solar plexus. All right. So you're dealing with survival, the whole sexual thing, which can be positive, or, the other side of it can be negative. And then the solar plexus is dealing with your ego, with the identity of the self. So you move up to the heart, which separates the 3 lower and the 3 higher. All right. And you start enlivening that. and you open that up, then you go to the 5th chakra, which is the throat, where you start to speak life. You can get to the point. They say that Yeshua spoke miracles. Whenever he said something, it would happen. All right. You can reach a point where whatever you say, the laws of nature rush to fulfill it because you're totally in tune with natural law. So you speak life and it happens. Then it moves on up to the 3rd eye, which used to be called the 1st eye, right in between your eyebrows. And it's connected with the organ, the pineal gland, which has crystals in it. Okay. Then you move on up to the 1,000-petaled lotus, the 7th chakra. And as you enliven those other 4, there's 4 more above your head where you start to get into being a galactic being, not just being limited on planet Earth, a cosmic being. That's why they call it cosmic consciousness, you know, and universal. And then there's another one below your feet. Okay. The Earth chakra, which is connected with Mother Earth. All right. So you start enlivening those things along with the 12 strands of DNA. You create the 144. That's the 144,000 that's talked about in the God spell.
Okay. Okay. So that doesn't, you know what that means? It doesn't have to do with tribes in the 3rd dimension, but we're talking about 4th dimensional energy, what you just described of 144,000. Because we always hear about the 12 tribes are lost, the 12 tribes, but I learned that the 12 tribes are inside. So all this active, when we activate all the chakras and the energy, then that's when the I got 144,000 are manifested. And that's what's happening now, don't you think? More and more people are waking up, right? And so we're seeing the 144,000 come alive. And the Christ mind actually activated. So we are really going to see peace on earth when all of us are aware of this, right? I mean, when we're doing the TM work and going inside, meditating, I had something happen the other day with the 5th of December that I wanted to share with you because it was a synchronistic moment that was putting things together. And that's what you just mentioned, just putting all of this together. It takes work.
Yes.
It's not the kind of work that you go on a job. And so what are we going to invest in? The type of work that you're talking about, developing all this, the chakra levels, 144, or the job type, getting more money, and then missing out on this really transition that's happening.
Well, Earth is a school.
Yeah.
Okay. So you either pass or you repeat. Okay. and as you start to realize, okay, you know, I've repeated enough. Okay. It's like now it's time to go back home. All right. But you know, all of us are destined to go home, to become one at one with the Creator, with ourselves, with our higher self. All right. It's just when you want to do it and how much contrast you want to have before you realize it. Now is the time to be awake, aware, and vibrantly alive and step into your power. There's nothing what is the word? I can't even say it. Blasphemous about being who you really are. The truth of the matter is, I and my mother, Father, God are one. That's the truth. The fact might be, I might be this, bag of bones and clay, with some skin on it. All right. That's a fact, but that fact can turn into a truth where you become a light being, which is your essential nature.
I saw a film. I was in a class last week with a brother on sacred geometry. He showed us a film of what happens when the sperm hits the egg. Have you ever seen that? And this burst of light comes out of it.
Yes, yes.
Wow, that was mind blowing. Mind blowing.
Yes,
I don't know how they. I don't know how they.
It's so true. And see, that's the other good thing about developing consciousness. You can be guided, you can study, you can read, you can see stuff. But you reach a point where you know stuff. So when you're guided to this, it's like, I know this. So it can't be some intellectual moving around, you know, it can't be at a lower state of consciousness where you take the Kool-Aid, okay? All right. You have developed consciousness. So you step in as a king, a queen, a god, a goddess, and you step into that power, you see? And you become a Christed being, you see? And you start living at the level of heaven. It's really heavens. It's the mind, you know, and not be limited to, you know, I like to bring him up all the time, but, you know, remember back in the day, Flip Wilson.
Ah, devil made me do it.
The devil made me do it. Yeah, but you put the pitchfork in his hand, you put the horns on him, because as above, so below. Mm-hmm. The invisible is the basis of the visible. The spiritual is basis of the physical. So what you create in here has to come out here. This is cause inside. You create the effects outside. So we created who's ever in the White House. If you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at yourself. Okay? And even then, get over it within 64 seconds, because all you're going to do is bring your frequency and vibration down.
Wow,
there's a scientific book. It's called Power versus Force.
Yeah, David Hawkins.
Yes, yeah. So people are looking at all the force in the world, but you want to step into power and raise your vibration. The average human being is only at 200. It goes up to 1,000. You can take yourself to 1,000. Inherently, that's who you are. You see?
Yeah.
Stop playing Mary has a little lamb with 1 of 10 fingers and start using 5 fingers, 8 fingers, and then start using 10. Then you can create a symphony. Then you can, then we start stepping back into our powers. Telepathy, clairaudience, clairvoyance, seeing at a distance, hearing at a distance, flying. All those things were natural at one time for human beings on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Look at the fairy tale Peter Pan.
Right.
Remember, he never got old. He lived in Never Land, and they just partied all the time. You know?
Yeah, Peter Pan.
Yeah. I mean, they had a few challenges. You know, Captain Hook would come in there every now and then, but that wasn't the norm.
Right, that's true.
Now the norm is Captain Hook and Darth Vader. Okay,
and we loved that cartoon growing up. Then we didn't have a clue what other than entertainment, but now we know.
And as you become more conscious, remember Tinkerbell?
Oh, all right? Yeah.
All that exists. Fairies, elves, all of it. But you got to be at a level of consciousness to be able to handle it. Otherwise, it doesn't even come into your awareness. The whole spiritual realm. But the main thing that exists is within you. Give you an example. There are 33 creative impulses around your heart on a spiritual level. Okay? Some people refer to them as the 33 devas, Mahadevas. Some people refer to them as the 33 angels and archangels. in the Black culture is referred to as our ancestors, but it's the same thing. So when you enliven your heart and open it up enough, you have access to that part of your being and total support from it. The 144 is 144, and the 3 zeros are the 3 and the 1. There's a whole numerological thing too that, you know, and then there's 144,000 souls in what is called your oversoul. There's so much knowledge, but you know, somebody like myself can tell you about it, but as you develop your consciousness, you start to know about it. You start to remember. Most of the challenges on planet Earth is for you to remember and to wake up. But to do that, you got to have a physiology that corresponds to it. That's why all this thing about, you know, eating right, sleeping right, hydrating your body, you know, youthing instead of aging. You don't have people talk about youthing because everybody's born into the reality with the death hormone that, you know, I make it to 80, 90, barely to 100. I just heard a thing, you know, not too long ago where some people were talking about, yeah, Methuselah wasn't anyone special. The average person lived to be 1,000. He was 960, 980, but they said the average person around then lived to 912. Okay, they say the brother Thoth, when he came from Atlantis and went over to Kemet, that he ruled in Atlantis and Kemet for 14,000 years. And he had to grow up and I guess at some point retired. So he was on the planet at least 15, 16,000 years. There's another great yogi. He's called Babaji. They call him the Yogi Christ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I recently just saw something. He said, look, as long as people, you know, need me and love me and I can give them guidance, I'm just going to stay in my body. And they say he's at least 25, 35,000 years old. And he looks like he's 19 or 20. I know some other information about Anna. Most people have never even heard of Anna. Anna is Yeshua's grandmother.
Oh, okay.
Okay. She lived to 650 and had 55 children. Used to hide in the catacombs because back in that time, people barely made it past 30 or 40. She was one of the Essenes.
Oh, okay.
So there's so much knowledge and information. And in her story, she talks about how the first Mary, who ended up being, you know, Jesus's mother, and immaculate conception is also something that's not new, but during those times, in a gross level of consciousness, it was very rare and new. Where she ascended. Okay. Mm-hmm. See, we're moving from death back to ascension. Yeshua wasn't the only person who ascended, but thousands and thousands and tens of thousands, 25,000, 50,000 of years before, hundreds of thousands of years before, when we were not in Kali Yuga, the Yugas last for hundreds of thousands of years. Okay. There was a Yuga that's called Sat Yuga, which is the golden age. And it existed. They said in Atlantis, it existed. They had a golden age for over 250,000 years. Okay. So there's so much other reality. You can buy into the third D, get old and die at less than 100, or you can start to wake up and be a magnificent being of light, love, and bliss, and you decide when you want to leave the planet. Okay. You either go into Mahasamadhi, which is where you go into this deep meditation, you invite people and you just leave your body consciously, or you ascend. You turn the atoms and molecules in your body to a higher level and it turns into light. So you don't have to drop your body, but that's a choice you can make if you have enough consciousness. You see? Otherwise, something's going to take you out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, my father had heart disease for a while. He had a heart attack, he had surgery, and then he lived to be 95, but for many, many years, I think he had a weak heart because of the relationship with his wife and like you said, when you're ready, as long as you're useful and you have something to offer and people are accepting your wisdom, then you're going to stick around maybe. But I think he began to feel like he wasn't as useful anymore, and people were not accepting his wisdom anymore. And so he was ready to go. And you know, he made a choice to leave when he left because he felt that way. But we're turning it around. So I want you to talk before we go, I want you to talk a little bit about your book and where people can get your book, because we haven't really mentioned that. But if you could share 108 ways
Yes.
where they can buy it and a little bit about it.
Okay. Yeah, I just came out with a new book called 108 Awesome Ways to Raise Your Vibration. Right now, it's on Gumroad. It's gonna be on Amazon soon because I have another Amazon book there. The link, let me put, www. If you go to my website, Master J. Rue, just like my name, masterjrue.com. There's a link there, okay, where you can purchase it. And just like the lady was saying, and I understand because that's the awareness. It's not an inexpensive book, okay? But when you look at it for what you're getting out of it and how you can use it over the years to raise your vibration, it is so inexpensive, okay? All right. The book costs $47, and I'm getting ready to do a hard copy for the holidays. Yes, yeah. If you go, can you go down?
Yes.
If you scroll down, yes. Okay, going down.
Right here.
Go down a little further. And that's some of my go down further. There it is.
Okay. Right, yeah.
108 ways to raise your vibration. And also the cover. See, there's so many techniques. The cover is a technique in itself. In the East, they call it a yantra, which you just looking at something. Okay. The Buddhists call it mandalas, where they create these mandalas. They take pieces of sand and they put them together and create these beautiful symbols. And then after they've done it, they take 6 months, then they just blow it away. All right. To show the ethereal aspect of life. But just by looking at the cover, and it's an ebook, and I purposely did it that way because you can get a brighter experience of it. Okay.
Yes.
And can you click that where it says get instant access here? Click that so I can show people.
Ooh, that's a powerful picture. Oh, you've got the Vitruvian Man in there. I didn't see that. That's what was on my.
I got it all in there.
I didn't even see that before. That's what I had on my first book cover.
Yeah. And
Oh.
he's within what is called the Sri Yantra, which is a yantra for Lakshmi, which is the spiritual wealth part coming from the east. And the overall, diamond star thing is the thing coming off of, it's a thing that's called a Merkaba, but it's also related with the star David. I mean, it's all interconnected. But
well, it's sacred geometry, though.
Yes, absolutely, a sacred geometry.
And you know what? This is the synchronicity of this is it's no accident you and I are talking tonight and you're here tonight. And the fact that you have the Vitruvian Man on your book cover, and that's what I had on my cover 11 years ago. And you're charging $47, which is an 11. I mean, it's like who can't get any better than this. It's like, what is, you keep thinking, what the hell is going on here? Just like on December 5th, I had so many synchronicities on that day. I was like, wow, okay, let me just pause and just be grateful, really. I mean, so this is really interesting and powerful. I'm going to have to download your book because I need to have that in my computer, I think, just to have it and it needs to be a reference book for me, what I'm teaching. And we're going into a whole new platform next year on the female solution. And I think this will be a great guide for all of us. In fact, I would encourage the ladies of the view. Listen to me. We are going to be the new view, the female solution. How about that, ladies?
Conscious view.
Yeah. Hey, we need to have this book in our reference so we can help our listeners go to the next level of vibrating. So wow, that's really something. And so let me just read a few comments before we. Let me read a few comments. Then I want you to talk a little bit about heavily indoctrinated will be suspect of a new way of being because it's unfamiliar. Not to mention being ostracized for thinking out the matrix. What do you think about that?
Well, first off, the way that frequencies and the universe works is we don't need everybody.
Okay.
If we needed everybody, God help us.
Yeah.
So as we develop and we do the work more, then it will reflect into other aspects of society, the nation, the city, the world. All right. But those of us have to step up who have some awareness, who will listen to a show like this and do the work. And then as that happens, then that hard crusted, conditioning and programming, the A-bow. And show the symbol again, big. The symbol, if you raise it. Yeah, there you go. See, just looking at stuff like that. And also hearing my voice, we also do activations. There's activations in the pages. Because see, everything is energetic. And when you start to activate that energy, it's transferable. Okay, there you go. I was about to leave the system. I asked them to stay so they could achieve their life purpose. Yep. Brother's been around a long time. And so there's a lot of good knowledge, and there's a lot of us. It's time for us to wake up and help others to wake up more and more and more and do more and more of the work. Minimum, a person should spend an hour a day on their spiritual development. Minimum. Should be a lot more. In TM, we'll show you how to get as much as, like, you know, there are two types of techniques in that we have here in the West, and actually everywhere. But most of the techniques for meditation here in the West, they're what are called reclusive techniques, where literally you have to meditate for all day, 6 or 8 hours to get the kind of benefit. Then there's a householder technique. That's what TM is. You get in 20 minutes, and that can be done anywhere, in your car, your office, anywhere. But you get it in the morning and in the late afternoon, early evening, because there's an effect on your nervous system that keeps the stresses from accumulating and strengthens your nervous system from attracting more and more. Literally, you become like a duck, okay, in water. You know, it's in water all the time. You know, fast-paced technological society, there's stress everywhere, but it just rolls off your back. You see, that's what the down feathers do. Okay, so what we're looking at is if enough people raise their consciousness and do a technique like this 20 minutes twice a day, every day, and then, you know, of course, you're focused on your goals, your intentions, and some of you can just open this book, okay, and the different techniques, 108 of them, anywhere randomly for mind, body, and just apply it. Just do it, and just do more and more every day and every way, you see, along with your base, you see. And the more there's a thing in quantum physics, it's called super radiance. Super radiance, where the square root of 1% of a population can affect the other 99, which is crazy. I was in a project once where when there was 4.9 billion people in the world a few decades ago, where we were looking to get 7,000 people to do an advanced technique of meditation that would affect the entire world. 7,000 out of 4.9 billion. Now it's about 10,000 for 8+ billion people. Okay, so we don't need everybody, but we need as many people as possible to get to these higher states. These higher states of consciousness. Then the cup starts running over consciously and energetically, and then it affects the whole globe. And then it affects the entire universe. And then it affects the omniverse. Universes within universes, worlds without end.
Oh, and here I see the disease prevention aspect of this is you are not going to stay in anger, resentment, fear for more than 1 minute when you've been meditating like an hour a day. It's less, I see it's less likely that you will create a disease in your body and by staying in over a minute of frustration and anger and all the low frequency, low consciousness, no unconscious, when you're meditating more. You just can't.
Right.
It's like your nervous system has been expanded, transformed, in anti-inflammatory medicine, but in meditation. And then when something happens that triggers you, it's like, oh, a few seconds. Oh, that made me mad, but I'm not going to stay there because I know I can't stay there more than a minute or I'm going to be in trouble. And then you just go into gratitude. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Exactly. In fact,
what we're proclaiming for all you listeners, you are not going to stay in low frequency more than a minute anymore. You're going to be in gratitude after me. We give you 1 minute a day, and that's it. You got to stay in gratitude the rest of the day.
There you go.
Here we go.
It's like the great brother Nelson Mandela said, I'm either winning or learning.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a learning seminar for you, or you're going to win. But in any case, it's always something good. I bless everything in my life as good, 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 until my good is better and my better is best. See?
Yes, absolutely.
Proclaim it, command it. You use the law of increase. See, you're either increasing, blessing, okay, or you're decreasing and cursing. All right.
Yeah.
You have a choice. But it's so much harder to do if you haven't developed consciousness. The other reason why I push TM so much is they did studies, your oxygen consumption and your metabolic rate. And they found that with other forms of meditation, it helped. All right. But it didn't go to the deepest levels. And when you went to sleep at night, it took 4 hours to get the REM sleep. Okay. Which was very helpful. But it took you 2 cycles of, 4 hours each, 8 hours to just dip into it twice. And they found that in TM, in just that, in minutes, and during that 20 minutes, because you can break up that hour. Doesn't have to be, 1 hour straight. And we train you on how to do some in the morning and some in the afternoon or early evening, to keep the energy going throughout your active cycle. That your oxygen consumption and metabolic rate went down to minus 16% compared to 8% at REM sleep. And they compared that with taking a nap. They compared that with mindfulness meditation, Vipassana, all types of different, techniques. And then people not doing nothing. So twice the level of deep sleep, but the uniqueness of it was, it's called restful alertness, where your body was more rested than doing 8 hours of sleep, but your mind is alert, aware, and expanding. We call it restful alertness. So you start to become more alert, more awake, more aware during that process, so that when you go out to activity, you bring it out with you. When you go to sleep, you take it with you. When you go into the dream state, you take it with you. So to be conscious and in bliss 24/7, being in 24-hour bliss, that means that you're conscious of your dreams. It's not once in a while you have a lucid dream. You dream every night. You're just not aware of it. Your consciousness can't handle it. And you go from third dimension to fourth dimensional reality. We want to move into the fifth dimension. That's like that group not in ancient time, but back in the day, called the fifth dimension. Remember that? The group? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They were saying,
up and away.
Jupiter aligns with Mars. That's happening now. Check that, the fifth dimension. Check that song out. I think it's The Age of Aquarius. All right.
Yeah. And then it's up and away in my beautiful balloon.
There you go. So, and that's taking your consciousness up. All these things have meaning.
Yeah. Between them and Earth, Wind, and Fire, they were way ahead of their time. Way ahead of their time. And that's why I go back to Earth, Wind, and Fire a lot, because I remember and now that music is more relevant than ever.
Exactly. Because they were poets. And that music means a lot.
Oh, yes. Music is part of the journey, but we got to be careful about the words we're listening to.
Exactly.
So there's got to, we should be more conscious about our choice of music as much as what we're reading and watching on YouTube or whatever, to make this ascension possible.
Yes. And now's the time.
Yeah. More than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like you said, we want to go to the fifth dimension. There is no war in the fifth dimension. So how many of us got so frustrated with this Middle East Gaza killing and bombing of babies, watching it on YouTube and everywhere else, And the only solution to that is to move out of this third dimension into higher dimensions. That's the solution. So I think the universe is not going to just end the wars. We have to do it by changing our vibration. And that's what your book is telling us, right?
Exactly. And then also next week, show up starting tomorrow. It's a free, and there are going to be people coming together from around the country and even from around the world. Show up at the Wild 5-Day Challenge. Going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday night. It's a Zoom. You just gotta sign up for it, and it gives you the link. And come and raise your vibration and learn a lot and remember, because you already know it. You just have to remember it. You see, and the more the stress that you get out of your nervous system, the more you start to know the truth, and then the truth will set you free.
Wow, that's just so important, especially for many of the people in my life to understand. The more you get that stress out of your nervous system, the easier this ascension will be. And let's see, Kwame. Oh no, NDB info on get 5 or more in an area. I don't know. Do you get that?
Yes. Just contact me. Let me put my phone number in here. 44.
Global Consciousness and Heart Math, the Frequency of the Planet. That's from Kwame Sunhurst. That's another tool for us.
So yeah, just contact me, or show up on the challenge. I'm gonna be talking about the challenge. In the challenge, I'm also that Saturday. It's a 5-day challenge, but that Saturday I'm giving a global TM lecture, okay, on Zoom, and that's how it works. People show up to that, and if they're interested and they sign up, and if we have 5 or more people in your area to sign up, then we will come to your area. Okay. And then I'm gonna have, and we can also set up any lecture for your people. In the past, we used to have what we call home lectures, where somebody in their home would invite everybody, and you can still do that. You can invite people over your house, but instead of somebody physically being there, you get on Zoom. Okay. And then we explain everything to them. We tell them everything. And if they're interested, that's the next level, where it's a preparatory lecture. And then if out of that group, if we get 5 or more to say that they're interested and they want to do it, then we'll come to the area. But all of it's done now just on the internet in the Zoom. You still there, or are we done?
I was trying, I was trying to copy your link. I deleted the. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You went away for a while, for a little bit.
I clicked on a button that I didn't have any business. I was trying to copy your link. You did give us the link for the class tomorrow.
Yes.
So it's in here. Zelda was asking. Yeah, it's in the chat, Zelda, for the link for tomorrow, starting tomorrow. And how many days does that go?
5 days.
5 days. So you have 5 days to connect with this. And how long is the teaching?
It's from 8 o'clock to 9:30. It's 90 minutes.
Oh, 8 o'clock in the morning?
No, at night, 8 p.m.
Oh, at night. Okay, great. So everybody knows
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
I actually sent you an email just before. If you can pull up the internet and pull up your email that I sent you, it has all the information in it.
Okay. Let me get back to comments. Post. I'm gonna post this link again. See if I without eliminating me. Okay. Okay, so there's the link again for tomorrow. And you said you sent me a email.
Yeah. Should have been around 8 o'clock. I got on at 8:15. I sent it just before I got on today. Should have an email from me, Master J. Rue, 108.
Okay, 5 days to transform your life. Okay, let me see if I can pull that up.
Bring that up. Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Actually, you're doing great because
you just don't.
Yeah, the technical stuff. Yeah, I'm still learning that stuff.
Thank you for your encouragement as I'm guided by spirit here because I sure don't know. Okay, there we go. Do you see that?
Yeah, but show the front part of it first, the top of it. Bring us back in.
Okay, back again. All right. So the front, you want me to show which part now?
Just show it from the top and then it'll take it down to the link is at the bottom. But this gives you the good information and what it's about. Is that it?
Yeah. Unlock your full potential.
Right. Okay.
Do you see that?
Yeah. So the picture is at the bottom. So the text. Start from the text at the top.
Okay, your path to holistic.
There it is. Yeah. Your path to holistic well-being starts here. And then take it down a little more.
Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Okay.
So stop it right there. Stop it. Go back. Yeah. Right there. Stop. Stop it. I just wanted to show that each day. So go down a little more.
Oh, okay. Monday, December 9th.
Yeah. And then it says mental wellness, physical, emotional, spiritual. That's each day. Stuff you'll gain. And then it starts on Monday, December 9th. Goes to February 13th. And then there's the link.
Okay, Friday the 13th. Okay, unlock your full potential.
That's it.
All right. So I put the link.
And if you could forward that to some of your people, if you have their email, it would be appreciated because the connection link is right there. So if you could forward it, just like I forwarded it to you.
You right. This link right here.
No.
Oh, down here?
No. Come back up. Right there.
Oh, here. Right here.
Yeah.
And that's what I put that in the chat. So that's in the chat. In case you don't get an email from me, just look at the chat and there's the link. Okay. So I'm ready. I'll be there tomorrow. I hope all of you will join tomorrow. It's free. So your Christmas gift. Here's your Christmas gift.
There you go.
It only cost you your time.
An investment in yourself.
That's right. That's what we got to do these days. All right. Well, wow, I can't believe it. We've been 2.5 hours. So very, very grateful that you spent all this time with us. And I know that many of you are going to invest in this opportunity to grow. That's what I see it, an opportunity to grow. especially if you've been struggling with anything in your physical body, which means your nervous system is out of alignment. And this is your opportunity to get a spiritual chiropractic adjustment. That's what I call it. So,
Yeah.
any last words, my brother?
I would just say, live the life you were meant to live. And the life that you were meant to live is full of joy, full of bliss, full of perfect health. In fact, back in the day, I know some of the people that helped him to write it, and we were trained by the same person. Deepak Chopra wrote a book called Perfect Health. Okay. And you can have perfect health. All right. You can reverse the aging process. You can have a perfectly expanded heart. Remember, your physical heart is on your left, but your spiritual heart is in the center of your chest. It's energetic.
Ooh,
Yes.
ooh,
Yes.
ooh. That chakra there.
Yes.
The fourth chakra.
The fourth chakra, because the energy comes straight down the center. All right. And so it's in the center of your heart. So enliven your heart chakra, enliven all your energy sources, and just be happy. Remember that song, Don't Worry, Be Happy?
Be happy. Yes. Yeah.
Well, see, the thing about it is you can't do that unless you develop your consciousness. That's the thing. You can tell, you can take a horse to a water hole, but you cannot make him drink.
You know, that was my show. My whole show was about the horse, taking the horse to the water 2 weeks ago. See, you and you, yes, go back and listen. I had a picture of a horse on the show that was leaning down, but he wasn't quite drinking the water. And my whole hour of show was about you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And you're developing it here even more because there's so much in that message.
Yes.
There's so much in it. There's so many people suffering right now, and they have to
suffer. They don't have to suffer. You can change. See, the other thing is people tell you about you got to eat this, you got to take this supplement. You will not do it unless you've developed your consciousness.
Yes.
See? Yes. Or you'll fall back. So you develop your consciousness and you find things that are good for you will stay with you. Things that are not so good for you will naturally fall away. So focus on the source within you, and then you'll find you'll eat right, you'll drink right, you'll do exercise, your emotional thing. You won't be as mad as you were before. You'll be more loving, more compassionate. Okay. You'll attract more goodness in your life. But you start with the root. Just look at the analogy of a plant. All right. If you start seeing one of the leaves go brown, you don't paint the leaf green. You put some water. Or put some water on the leaf. You water the root.
Yeah.
You water the root and the bark gets better. The leaves get better. Okay. The flowers blossom. The root of a human being is their being. There's a whole science and art of being. And that comes about by developing your consciousness. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Develop your consciousness. And then you step in and you come from being a human being to a divine being. Last thing I want to say is we're not beasts. That's perpetuated in society. If you do something really strong or powerful, oh, you're a beast at that. No. You are divine. You are a divine being. So start stepping into that divinity, that Christhood, that greatness, that magnificence. All the qualities of God. Okay.
Yes.
All of those. Omnipresence, omnipotence, omniessence, generator, organizer, designer. Okay. You have all of those because you're made in the image and likeness. But you got to realize it, step up to it, do the work, do the studying, do the meditations, do the savor, which is service, giving unto yourself, you know, do the work and constantly do it. Don't just stop. Oh, I've done that. I've learned that. No. Keep on doing it. You know, show up. 95% of life is showing up.
Yeah. Be consistent and disciplined.
There you go.
Which is not easy, but it's worth it. It's really worth it. You'll be in bliss soon if you can be consistent and determined and disciplined. You'll be in bliss.
That's the new ecstasy, is discipline.
Yes. Yeah, right. They're saying, right. I want my pizza. I want my ice cream. No.
All of those things, you can take them to higher levels because there's nothing wrong with them things except for process this and lower vibrational that. But you can find high vibrational things that you can have the same thing.
Right. Give you the same feeling.
Yes. And in fact, a higher feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so,
there's nothing like going to the beach to me. That's my high. And if you can get in a forest or any environment that raises your vibration, like 100, I'm sure 108 ways that's in there.
It's definitely in there.
You gotta not be in a crowded, air-conditioned, fluorescent light building all day. That's not it. So the ways in your vibration is getting outside, enjoying the trees, the bees, the birds, and the water and the sand and all the rest. Yeah. Yes. I have the hardest time getting a friend of mine. She's had some serious health problems and she lives like 5 minutes from the beach. And I'm like, do you go to the beach? No, I don't have time. I don't have time. Making excuse after excuse. And so, you know what, Master, I'm learning to leave people alone. Yes. You don't want to drink the water. It's the horse again.
There you go. It's blessing.
Leave the horse alone. Give him a slap on the butt and keep going. Right.
Invite her if she shows up. You know, everybody doesn't show up, but invite her to this challenge.
Yes.
We're going to start with the mental.
Yes.
And then the physical. The physical will blow her mind.
Yes.
But you want to start with the mind because the mind is much more powerful than the body.
Right.
Tell her to come to the challenge. She can just sit at home on her laptop or her phone and just absorb it.
Yes. Well, I will send it to her tonight because she's one person I'm thinking. I have a couple of people who need to be in this class for their life, for their health and everything else.
Because it's no fun. It's no fun getting old and dying and being sick. It's no fun. We're here to have bliss and joy and celebrate. You know?
Yeah.
I have another thing that you know, if I get enough, right now it's going to be in Atlanta and DC, but if I get enough people, we'll have it in an area. And it's just dancing. It's called Soul Riser.
Ooh.
You know, when you just dance and it raises your soul up those 33 vertebrae and it opens up the mouth of God just from dancing and having fun.
Yeah.
But it's the way you set it up and it's the way you activate it. And you literally dance. And I don't care what your age is. You can be 100 years old. You dance for 2 hours straight and don't get tired.
Yeah.
And you don't get tired. Nobody gets tired because of the energy.
Yeah. If it's the right music, I could go for 3 or 4 hours. I could keep playing George Benson and all my other favorites, and I'll keep going. Yeah. In fact, I did that on my last birthday. I had my family come together, and I had my son play all my favorite music, and I danced, and they watched most of the time.
There you go.
Oh yeah, dancing, that's powerful. That's
It's
very
very
powerful.
powerful. And then when you can structure it, remember the brother Moses, okay, who is part of our culture. He went up to the mountain.
Moshe.
And he saw the burning tree.
Okay.
Remember that? The burning bush, not the burning tree.
Burning bush, yeah.
The burning bush is your kundalini.
Oh,
Okay.
I got to read that story again.
Yeah. And so when he came down with the commandments. He came down with some truth. I mean, they've been distorted over time. Okay. Thou shalt not, all this not stuff. And the Aborigines people here in America, which were, black folks. Okay.
Right.
Here way before Columbus, we used to dance around the fire. Okay, the fire is your kundalini.
Wow.
Coming from the base of your spine. So when you can start dancing like that and activating that, you send the fire straight up to the mouth of God. And you open up that awareness, that knowledge, that source that's giving it to you 24/7, but you got it blocked with the stresses in your nervous system. You see? But you can have awakenings from time to time. And if you have enough awakenings, then it starts to become stabilized. It's always there. So we have an activation and meditation before you get into this dancing mode, and then you start activating it, and then it's like bliss. We literally have to stop people.
That's a great thing then. Yeah.
It's called soul rising, because you rise your soul.
Yes.
And and the fire within you, that kundalini comes from the base, where it's usually coiled and stays there most people's lives, their whole life. And then they got to try again. But you start awakening it and enlivening it, then you start to become illuminated and radiated. That's what enlightenment really is, that there's no dark areas in your nervous system anymore, or in the brain. There's no more gray areas in the brain. It's all lit up. You're in the light. That's what enlightenment is. When it's stabilized. Yeah.
Well, it takes us back to the beginning when the sperm hits the egg, the light, and then we're here in this body, full-grown body with the egg and the sperm produced, and then we can go back to that light.
Yes.
When we take the time to meditate and go within.
Yeah. And do the work. And one of the number one way is deep meditation. All meditations will help you, but the deeper you go, the more profound it will be on your physiology and on activity.
Yes.
And that's why I preach and speak so much on TM, because you go so deep, so fast. You see? And the faster you can go and the deeper you can go will determine how fast you clear those stresses out and how much you coordinate your brain and expand your consciousness. The 1,000-petaled lotus on the top of your head just starts popping, just starts opening up. And then you start activating those other ones above your head and then the one below your feet. And before you know it, you're literally a Christed being on planet Earth, and you're helping to bring in the age of enlightenment, Sat Yuga, the golden age, otherwise known as the age of Aquarius.
And that's what Kwame, I guess, is mentioning with all these meditators. I guess you recognize some of these names.
Yeah, those are great beings of light, from the Paramahansa Yogananda, Lahiri Mahasi. Yeah, these are great beings from Kriya Yoga. Yeah.
And you know what? I got to add something to my book, because in German New Medicine, the last phase of healing is conflict resolution. And what I probably need to add is that the conflict resolution comes with deep meditation. You can come out, you can come out of these three phases of dis-ease: the conflict, the active, the conflict in the middle, and then the end phase is resolution. But that will come when you meditate deeply. Like you said, there has to be a deeper meditation. And in fact, one woman demonstrated that when she had breast cancer, she went into a type of deep 3-hour meditation, and it revealed to her many of the relationship conflicts she had had with men, first of all, that needed to be resolved and healed. And then she came out of that with a energy that was healing her breasts.
There you go. Absolutely.
So I got to add that, maybe that little piece in there again.
Yeah. You want the transformation.
Yes.
Yes.
There
the
has to be
understanding will get you started, but you want the transformation, and that comes through your physiology because you got a body.
Yes. Yeah. And the nervous system imbalance or subluxation, like in chiropractic, will be resolved and healed with the transformation.
Yes, absolutely.
But you build up this breast disease, for instance, over a period of time. It's like the tumors are developing and developing because of a nervous system that is so out of whack, so out of balance, so inflamed. And then to transform or reverse that, like you saying, you have to go into deep meditation to erase all the trauma and the inflammation that you created yourself from your mind and your history. That's a big one for me, that revelation. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah. Wow, we have almost gone 3 hours. I can't believe this. This has been just amazing and so helpful. I hope everyone, if nothing else, you got out of it your minute timer.
Right.
If you get out of these 3 hours, remember, no minute is all you get for your triggers, your low vibration. Then you come into gratitude. That's how you heal your body. They keep your body dis-ease free. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be in class tomorrow.
Okay. Awesome sauce. Yeah. And also, everybody get the book too. Have some techniques in hand. I make the analogy. It's just like back in the day. As a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout, you get your little badges. So that when you went out, you were able to do things. Yeah. So that book is like an encyclopedia of badges. It's over 350 pages.
Okay? Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's a lot of good information in there. And then you apply it, and then it'll make a difference in your life.
Yes, I think so too. All right. We'll see everybody. All right, everybody in class tomorrow night at 8. We'll see you there, because we are on a mission to ascend and bring the whole planet with, or at least majority of the planet with us. So we're going to say goodbye to our global family right now.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
And to all my yogi friends out there, namaste, sat nam, and shalom. See you later.
All the best.
Thank us. Thank us.
Peace and love.